So guys, I ended up playing none other than Purple Hybrid for the Eggman event, and I had a lot of fun playing it, to be honest with you. This has been a fun deck that I haven't been able to feel for a bit. You know, I love Dexteruga, as you know, but I also love the shenanigans of the Galaxy deck. But like, for a brand new deck out of the gate that I didn't have much testing, I think I've only picked it up like 5 times before taking it to the event. I'll let you guys decide that fate, and I actually did pretty well with it. So without further ado, let's get into the video and talk about it. So first off, let's get into it. We're playing 4 Demi-Mera eggs. You want to be drawing cards. This is a combo deck. You need to draw pieces. You need to get all those pieces as soon as possible into your trash any way, shape, or form, and Demi-Mera helps that out. And another card that we do play is the final Cupimon. Cupimon, for its on deletion trash 1 card in your hand, gain a memory, is massive. That is vitally important because of how this deck works and operates. You want to gain that one last bit of memory to get you that game. So being able to get Cupimon, and especially because players think that you have Demi-Mera across the board, they don't realize Cupie's on board sometimes. So it's a lack of knowledge on what egg is on there, and they'll swing into it, and it's gotten me games because the opponent swung into it, and then I just trashed the card and just basically passed it back to my turn. So information is key, and players don't understand Cupimon because they're seeing a lot of your Demi-Meras. This being a completely different effect is throwing people off. Then we do have 3 of our natural memory gainers. This one is going to be start a main, gain a memory if your opponent has a Digimon. And then it does have a draw inheritable for its when attacking to draw a card, trash a card. You barely use this inheritable. He's just in here to gain that extensive 1 extra memory to swing in and do some shenanigans. Then we do play 3 Gazemon because Gaze is Gaze. Gaze will shut down any memory shenanigans, and it helps it against the mirror and almost every deck in this format. Right now, Gaze is probably the best rookie right now, blocker right now paired to Psychmon, so I definitely approve of Gaze. Then we are playing 4 Ukumon. Ukumon is for your starting combos. This card is helping you dig and find your pieces. This card is just that good. You want to have it, you want to see it. It is, if you have this in your opening hand, 9 out of 10 times you're keeping that hand. There are very little circumstances that you will not keep a hand with one of this Ukumon. Then we do have 1 promo Ukumon, just because comboing in, getting an extra memory every single time you promote is always nasty. Then we do have 1 Ignite-mon because Mervamon shenanigan plays, but it can lead to being some powerful effects because you swing in, then you could delete one of your rookies or something like that, and then boom, you can get rid of the negator on board if you needed it to extend your plays. So it's always good to have Ignite-mon, and he's decently statted. Now let's get into the heart and soul. We have Duskmon here. If you guys don't know what Duskmon does, Duskmon literally says on play when Digivolving, change a target Tamer or Digimon to any color but white. So this now lets you do some crazy shenanigans that relates with Valgramon that is very powerful, because when attacking, he gets the free Digivolve from trash, and that's usually going to be your Valgramon for, well, 1 cost evolve less. So Valgramon's going to be free every single time. You're going to just mill your opponent, get bigger. Valgramon hits for big crazy numbers, and then Duskmon's on deletion basically gets you to play a Tamer for free. We'll talk about a quick combo with it afterwards, but very useful. Then we have the 4 Valgramons. Valgra is basically on play when Digivolving, draw, mill 3 cards, basically, or mill 1, mill X cards equal to the number of different colors they have. So Duskmon's going to produce maybe a 3rd color to a 4th color to maybe a 5th color, depending on what deck you're facing against. So Definitely 4 of these is great. And then on deletion, well, end of attack, you basically say laugh at your opponent for end of attacks, because you're basically going to kill itself, triggering all its on deletion effects, and then boom, you're going to play out stuff, but you get to delete all the lowest levels. Sometimes I forgot about this, and I forgot it's all is the keyword with Volgramon, and it has retaliation, which comes up later. Then we do have 2 Kaiser Leos, because Kaiser Leo can evolve on top of the Volgar for 1. This is just really to combo in at your Mervamon plays if you have enough memory to just go shenanigans. This lets you do so, but it also gains retaliation, so yeah, just put your opponent on the clock. Then we do play 2 Mervamon, because Mervamon's just gonna say, hey, we're gonna slam down today. So Merva doesn't come up very often. She is in here to help mill out your opponent with Volgramon effects, and then you just kind of just go from there. I mean, being able to mill out your opponent, especially with Mervamon, could win you games. I almost did that against the purple hybrid player, because that is super beneficial. You should be asking constantly how many cards left in deck after you've done a few Volgar loops, because you never know how many cards left that it could just take for a Mervamon to come down, slam down 2 Volgras, and mill them out. So this is just really powerful. Just gives retaliation characters rush and blocker, so it can produce a 3 attack turn if under the right circumstances. Then we do play 4 Koichis because of its on deletion memory game, but it's also a draw tamer, draw a card, trash a card. Just allows you to do all the shenanigans you want. Then we do play 3 Matt Ishidas, because Matt Ishida does Matt Ishida things. Matt will loop back 1 Duskmon the whole time, and you'll be able to gain that momentum. Then we do have 3 Koichis from the new set. Koichi basically is going to be able to extend your plays under any of your memory blockers that your opponent might have. So the Koichi is going to come down by trashing 1 card in your hand with hybrid or 10 warrior traits, gain a memory, and then return 1 of your cards with hybrid or 10 warrior traits from your trash to your hand. This is really solid for its when attacking inheritable, which is basically if you have 2 Duskmons, you're going to take advantage of that. Then 1 Louis, because Louis can produce a game win, just because the way the Duskmon is worded, it's any tamer, doesn't matter color, any circumstances. So you could just take Louis from the trash and play it out, and then you can get an Uku up or anything like that, and your opponent's going to be sad. Then you do have 4 Jack Raids. Jack Raid is basically to extend your play, especially once you're getting to later games. And then if they hit insecurity, if they're at 1 or less, they're going to have a bad time, because it's going to pass right back to you. Then we are playing 3 Miss Memory Boosts. This is just another combo extender. Might be taking 1 out for 1 Argomon. I think Argomon might actually be a really good tech for this deck, just because if you can suspend the Tamers, he can come in for a reduced cost, and that makes the Merva play do the same thing as this with, you know, your hybrids, but beneficial, you're just suspending all your Tamers, which you're going to be playing a bunch of for free anyway, so why not take advantage of it for the final turn, and then basically lock your opponent out. Then we are playing 4 Death Slingers. Death Slinger is basically when it's milled, you gain a memory. So what you're hoping is your Volgar is going to hit them to extend your plays. And then you also have, for every 10 cards in your trash, add 1 to the maximum level of Digimon that can be chosen with this effect. So you can help remove things, because you need to remove things in this deck. Then we have Rivals Barrage. This card is just really good, especially against hybrid, the ace shenanigans that you might come across, because you can just Rivals Barrage, kill it, and then take tempo there. Then you have Ancient Deity that basically says you may return 1 Digimon with hybrid or 10 warrior traits from your trash to your hand. Then you may play 1 Digimon with 10 warrior trait or 1 tamer with inheritable from your hand with a play cost 4 or less. So things that I messed up on. The first time I did not read the inheritable part, so I played a Matt Ishida in my game 1. Sorry about that. That is corrected. I did not do that the rest of the game. So I did not want to cheat. So that was just a small mess up, but as you can see on the board what I played against. Dora Brick was the hardest matchup by far. You just can't do anything to that deck. Then you have, you know, I faced a lot of OTKS decks, Magda X and Blue Purple Hybrid were one of my favorite matchups. Magna X, I misplayed, just should have Jack Raids before I swung in the final attacks because he had in Paladin mode Ace, and we would have been fine to survive and just been able to combo out from there. I think that's a small misplay on my part, would have been fine completely. So this is the list. I will make some changes, but here's a quick combo of what can happen with some of the list here that I liked in the matchup. So all you need is a few things to go right, and you can make the snowball play very easily. So let's take a look at one quick combo shenanigans that I like to do, especially with this list. It's very fun. I think being able to combo and do some crazy shenanigans is always good, you know? So the fact that you only need like one Volgra, one Dusk, and a Dusk in hand to really just go infinite is really crazy to me. I mean, all you need is like even just one Matt Ishida on board, or Koichi, anything like that, a Matt in trash, and you can go infinite tenfold. So mainly here is just taking a look here is that, let's say you have Koichi. You were able to go up in turn, you just set up, you're going to Digivolve into Duskmon, bring this up to basically be there. You're going to change something. So let's say they have 3 colors. You're going to Digivolve to swing with the Volgra, and Volgra is going to trash X amount of cards, hopefully extending plays, and then you'll be doing when attacking skills. So you'll take the Duskmon from trash, add it back to hand, and then it'll go pop. And then you'll just replay the Koichi afterwards, making it vitally just another continuation play. And then another play you can do, depending on board state. If you have Koichi and one Duskmon in hand, but you have another Duskmon, but you have Matt Ishida in trash, what you're gonna do is change, swing in, Digi into Volgra, draw your card, mill the X amount of card based on color. Then you'll take the Matt Ishida after it pops itself. It'll gain you a memory, delete itself. You'll slam down Matt to grab the Duskmon back again. This is all just fun looping stuff that you get to do. And then basically what I do is turn them upside down just to remind myself that these are already they're played, they're not usable. That is just my way of keeping things. But another play that can happen is like your Matt Ishida. You're going to Digivolve for 3 this time. The rest were 2s. But as long as this is your starting swing, you're going to swing in. You change their colors. You draw, mill X, and then basically can set yourself up. He's going to self-delete. Then basically for one Matt, you can just play the Matt to grab the Duskmon back. And this is just for as long as you can have one Duskmon. 2 Duskmon is better for this Koichi. 1 Duskmon is better for the Matt. Then this one does want to have at least a replacement for Duskmon. So you want to use, if you're going to go this Koichi, make sure you have a Matt to swing in. Or what you're going to do is sacrifice this Duskmon if you have a second one in hand already. And then you get to set up if you have this one. So you'll be able to swing in, do the whole shenanigans with Volgra, and go from there. So just keeping track on what needs to be done is vitally important when these come down to these matchups. They're really needing to know what combo line you have to do. And Paladin mode Ace can be a problem, but remember one key factor here. Duskmon in a hand plus keep, if you know you're going to be facing against a Paladin mode, you want to keep at least one Valgar in your hand because it's so important. You can loop the rest all day long, but you need to at least keep 1 and 1. Do not trash all your Valgras if you're facing a deck that'll have Paladin mode Ace, is my recommendation. Just so you keep that in mind. You don't want to lose out on that. And that is something I learned a little bit. And if you know there's a Paladin mode Ace coming in your future, burn your Jack rates. You know why? Because that'll extend your plays. And then your opponent's going to be sad when they just put back 4 Jack Raids back into your deck. You know, yeah, they are going to try to choose the order. A lot of times they don't. All they're going to care about is the order of certain circumstances. So, like, I usually am fair and I shuffle everything but the couple cards that they want and then put it on the bottom. But most of the times, players only care about getting your hybrids to the bottom. So that is how many times Paladin mode hit me, is that, oh, just put the Valgras and the Duskmon to the bottom, and then the rest, whatever. I'm like, okay, shuffle, 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 just to be fair. But if you, for some weird reason, get a couple Death Slingers back in the mill category when you have a Valkyr and Dusk, you're in a good spot. So stuff like that matters. And then the final play you kind of can do, this is if you can extend out completely crazily, is like the Valgra. If you have Dusk, you've done Jack Raid, Overboard, just gotten yourself to 10. You do the Merva Cross, you get the 2 Valgras to come down, and then basically all you have to do is Digivolve for 1 on top of these guys. As long as it's your turn and you've... This is with if you have 10 memory, though. This is a 10 memory play. You'll get 3 attacks in. Most likely your opponent is not surviving 3 attacks. So stuff like that is vitally important. It really comes down to how much memory you get, how much memory they're going to give you, and how much damage you can do across the board. So stuff like that is vitally important. So hopefully this helped you in understanding. And guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next one. Peace.